Elliot,
Hello.
I have determined that the ultimate way to interact with your computer is not a mouse.
It's not a mouse.
It's not a mouse. Okay, I have said this for years.
I'm inherently suspicious.
I've said this for years, and I finally put it into practice. So I've had to do a lot of video editing recently.
Okay.
For a variety of things, right? And for work, I code. All right, I'm a software engineer basically, right? And I scroll through a lot of stuff, and I have determined that not this, which is my Death Adder V3, right, is the best thing. It's a fucking Apple Magic Trackpad, and I have no reason to believe this, but I use both of them on the computer at the same time, and this is just better 99% of the time unless I'm playing a game.
Not only do I think this is insane, but saying a mouse isn't the best way to do it on a Counter-Strike podcast is particularly
No. When you play Counter-Strike, I use the mouse, right? Like I have multiple mice here. Like I use the mice when I play games, but like when I'm scrolling, when I'm Discording, trackpad.
I have this weird I like to describe it as like an autism tick because it's not really, but like it's the sort of thing that if somebody said it, you'd be like, that's sounds like autism. Mm-hmm. Where I have to have the same sensitivity on every game, which is particularly difficult because my Counter-Strike sensitivity, which is the one I base it off, is very specific. So I have to try and get every single game I play as close to the sensitivity as possible. I played League of Legends on the same sensitivity I played Counter-Strike. I play Apex Legends on the same one.
I'm the same.
I try and have the same one while using the internet.
Yeah, I have the same thing too. And my sensitivity in games is like I use 800 DPI full stop.
Yeah, see, that'd be so much easier if I just used 800 DPI. But the problem is, I use 800 times 0.88 in CS.
I use 1.1. So everything in games.
That used to be my sensitivity. I used to play on 1000 0.88. But I changed mouse once and didn't realize it was on 800 and not 1000. So I got conditioned to 800.88. So now I have to use everything on 644 DPI if possible. Do you know how difficult it is to get some games on that? Like I have to halve my DPI and then put it on the weirdest sensitivity possible on games you've never even heard of. I'm just trying so hard to get my CS sense.
The only game that doesn't have my CS sense, because League has my CS sense, TFT doesn't have a sense.
No, that's but I try and make it CS sense.
It's just whatever my browser sense is, which is 800 DPI. And honestly, I probably couldn't tell the difference between 800 and 880. Right?
No, I can't. But I in my head, I need to know it's
no. So
I'm
I probably couldn't tell the difference. But for fucking the finals. Which is what I've been playing a lot of recently. My sensitivity is whatever it was out of the box. I did not touch it, and I don't know why.
No, I can't do that.
But at this point, I can't fuck with it because I'm really enjoying the finals and I'm good at it.
So Dickel, the TLDR social media guy, plays on CS on an insanely low sense, 450 EDPI or something, and then he triples it to play Apex. Do you know how comfortable that makes me?
How? No. That's illegal. That
it makes me so
wrong.
uncomfortable.
No.
He plays insanely low on CS. He's it's so much easier to have high sense on Apex Legends. I'm yeah, but
I mean, on one hand,
how does your brain deal with this?
Yeah, I was saying, on one hand, that makes sense. His logic makes sense. Apex, there's a million different angles and a million different locations. The map's 700 trillion feet long, right? That makes sense.
I will say he's one of the best players I've ever played with in both games. But it makes me so uncomfortable.
How does your brain go? And imagine going playing a game of Apex and then going right into a game of Counter-Strike.
Oh yeah.
You're playing a game where you
the guy is a lunatic.
That's insane.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm glad you also think that's mental.
No, that's insane. That's a little insane.
I can't. My brain physically cannot deal with having different sensitivities on different games. I just
that's just
because I did it once and then I dropped to a 2-18 game on CS, so I just never did it again.
I'm there with you most of the way. I'm not as anal as you are about it, but I'm most of the way there. All right, let's talk about some stuff that might actually people will probably care about. Let's talk about Counter-Strike. This is a podcast about Counter-Strike after all, and we started with trackpads and then sensitivity. So, okay, so we got a couple
vaguely into depth with Counter-Strike, I would say.
Yeah, So okay, we're gonna talk about Blast, but I think we want to talk about RMRs first because we didn't get to
Yes.
cover those last week. We were talking about more important things last week. I don't remember what we talked about
We did
last week though.
predictions for the year.
We did predictions last week. Okay, those were more important. I stand by that. Okay, so I want to talk about the RMRs. We're going to talk about the closed qualifiers because honestly, who the fuck cares about the open qualifiers?
Yeah.
Um, basically, most of I don't think there was any like huge surprises in the opens.
I mean, TSM not making it through is incredibly funny.
TSM not making it through is funny, but I would not say that was a surprise.
It's not wholly surprising. It's
No,
not.
I wouldn't.
You know, you'd still kind of expect them to get through the open qualifier.
Yeah, I'd agree. But I didn't think it was surprising, if that makes sense. So okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about it. Where's A? I have all of them open, but none of them are in order, and it's impossible to find anything. Okay. I've
Are
quit.
you one of those people who has like thousands of tabs?
No, I have
That also makes.
I have a normal amount of tabs right now.
What's a normal amount of tabs?
Like 15, but there's like but the problem is like 10 of those are just RMR closed qualifiers that are open in tabs right now. They're not normally open.
Yeah, fine.
Okay,
I'll let you off.
Let's start with Europe. European RMR closed qualifier A. So this was the one with Na'Vi, with Cloud9, Virtus Pro. This went roughly as we would have expected.
Yeah, there wasn't too much that went wrong.
So teams that went through, Na'Vi, and it was top half of teams went through. Na'Vi, Cloud9, Virtus Pro, all make sense.
Yeah.
OG Fnatic, makes sense with the crowd that was here. Makes sense.
When you say it that like it's like OG Fnatic got through, like JW, Flusher, Crims, that team got through.
I mean,
OG
you saw OG Nip was playing. They did not get through.
No, they did not.
Bet Boom, who's been on a little bit of a streak, through 9 Pandas, same deal through. Saw kind of just
beat Fnatic. They beat some half decent teams. Like
Saw's to me has always been like budget Bad News Eagles, and I don't mean that in like a mean way. It's just like Saw turns up for majors and goes away in between.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're like they show up at a lot of like tier 2, tier 3 events, and they tend to do all right. Yeah, they're not a bad team by any stretch.
So teams that didn't make it through, there is one surprising team here.
I will say there was like 5 of the 6 teams that go 2 and 3 go through. It was really odd.
Yeah. Wait. So what do you mean?
The teams that go 2 and 3.
There's the decider.
Went to a decider qualifier, and then 5 of the 6 went through, which is insane. That makes it really annoyed me. I don't know why that exists.
So teams that didn't make it through: 3D Max, which is the former Double Pony team. That ended up going to Falcons and then was kicked out of Falcons.
Well, they eventually went to the decider thing and went through, I think.
Yeah. So it didn't make through in the closed qualifier. Yeah. The original closed qualifier. Nexus, who I cannot remember who they are, but I know
Romanian.
They're a Romanian team. They have Zello. That was the important bit there. Yeah. Zero Tenacity, who I believe is also Eastern European.
I don't know Zero Tenacity. If I had to guess, I'd say Slovak.
They're the Serbian team,
the
part Serbian team with some Bosnians and such. Permita, Sinners, and Yano, all teams that I don't think many of us really expected to get through.
Yep.
You'll notice I missed out a team there. They went 1 and 3. That would be Big, of Big fame.
Big. What is it to say about Big? Like, the thing is, Big don't change. They've made 5 roster moves in 3 years, and they're the same fucking team they've always been. They will always let you down up until the point where they just for 2 events a year they'll be the best team in the world, and for every other event in the year they will let you down. And that is what Big have done pretty much since their inception in Counter-Strike. And they're just in their letting you down cycle at the moment. Okay, that's just the way it is.
Except for the one IEM clone that they did well in.
Yeah, well, I say 2 events a year.
Yeah. Okay.
2 events a year, they're the best team, or one of the best teams in the world. The rest of it, they're just a waste of a slot, and it was really frustrating because they have had and do still have talent that will never leave the German scene for the most part. because this team exists, but they kind of hamstring themselves by being German because they have to have players who aren't quite at the level of people like Crimbo and at some points Tabson, although he's fallen off quite heavily. Crimbo's still really good. I think Sin's probably quite good as well, but
All right,
there's just no
let's.
Warpers.
It's truly a problem for many regions around the world.
Yeah.
NA,
Well,
Asia, to a
quite, yeah.
degree.
NA has to import. I mean, NA also imported a German AWPer, which tells you everything you need to know about
Yeah.
the standard of the NA AWPers. Because Germany doesn't have any AWPers, and they're still exporting them to NA.
Slacks is fine. Okay, let's talk about the other closed qualifier.
This is like if NA started importing like Dutch food. It's like this makes nobody want the Dutch don't even want Dutch food, and you're importing it. Insane.
All right, we have to talk about European closed qualifier B. We're going to talk about this.
You want to talk about Dutch food?
No, I want to talk about closed qualifier B because closed qualifier B was a little bit of a banger here.
It was the donk show.
It was not just the donk show. I'm going to start with the teams that didn't make it because the teams that did make it were all over the place. So Eyeballers, which is the OG Fnatic roster,
sad.
Did not.
Everyone's sad they didn't make it.
Aurora did not make it.
That one surprised me how badly Aurora did. Actually, I thought they'd be a lot better than they were. They were good.
Ikla, which is the Mihu and Lekro lineup, did not make it.
Yeah, I'm not shocked that one did.
No, I'm not shocked about that one either. Fours, again, if you're coming out from under a rock, that's a non-Jerry led fours.
Yeah. Welcome to Shanghai. They've learnt Chinese now. They got rid of Jerry. They've become the Shanghai Sharks.
Entropic, which is the team Tizian is on, because that's.
Oh, I did not. I actually just didn't know that at all.
Yes,
Tizian's on Entropic.
Yes, Entropic is a mixed European team now.
Hang on a second.
Do you need? Okay, so
I had no idea this was. I genuinely had no idea about this. I saw Entropic lost and was like, "Oh, they used to be good. What the fuck is this? When did this happen?"
So Entropic, for listeners, is Tizian, Collins, who's a Serbian player, Oxygen, who's a Bulgarian player, Myrix, who is a Luxembourgian player, which I didn't know Luxembourg produced Counter-Strike players.
Well, he's the only player I've ever heard from there. He was on Sprout, I think.
And Wilkie, who is Polish, who's been on at least one other team, because I recognize that name.
Yeah, I think he's an SPL guy. I think Milky.
Anonymous, AGO. He's been around.
He's not bad.
Teams.
Just I literally saw Entropic went out and was like, oh yeah. I mean, they used to be good, but like that was with Elian, and I don't know who they got anymore. But I presume they were still like. I know the orgs actually like from Czechia. I believe.
Yeah.
But I just had no idea that Tizian was on the set.
Well, so their
Collins is just not a Serbian. He's called Collins and he's Serbian. It's really
so their
odd.
coach is the former big coach, who's NKJ.
Yeah,
which was the post Gobby coach and pre Gobby coach.
I'm not sure where I thought Tizian was, but I just assumed he was on like Penta or Alternate Attacks.
Not on Entropic.
Yeah. Fucking hell. That completely changes how I think about this. In that case, I'm not at all surprised. I'm actually surprised they even went to overtime against Spirit.
Para, who is one of the they're a Bulgarian team, I believe. They're one of those Southeast European mixes. So for what it's worth, Para and the next two teams all went to the decider thing we'll talk about in a second. Sync, which I've never heard of in my entire life.
I looked them up recently.
They're Estonian. They have Fetish.
I think it's Fates. I think it's pronounced Fates.
Fates.
Not Fetish.
Bro, look at that. Fates. Look at that name and tell me it doesn't look like that.
I think Gio was on a half decent team before as well. I recognize him. I mean, fair play to them.
Here's the thing. I watched RMR A and B for what it's worth. I know it doesn't sound like I did, but I actually watched these matches.
I watched I watched some of the bigger games, but I was quite busy last week.
Yeah. And the final team that went to the decider is Preezy, who you may know because they're the second best Danish team.
Do Preezy.
This team with Altex, TMB, Roy, Refresh, and Dupree. Okay, let's get back to this. So teams that did make it through. Heroic, the new Heroic lineup. That's the one with
Yeah,
Keekson
they
and
had a bit of a
Nikadas.
wobble though.
They
They
were,
weren't
yeah.
convincing.
No, they lost to some teams. The next two teams, in fact, they lost to Maus, who were also not that convincing.
Mm-hmm.
This comes a week after I said that Maus were going to win the second major of the
It
year.
does, yep.
Yep. Okay. And Koi, which is former Movistar Riders, because Movistar Riders, Mad Lions, and Koi all conglomerated into one thing.
Yeah.
So Koi, which is former Movistar Riders, a team historically which will make the major.
Yeah. Movistar Riders, like, I don't. Oh, now Koi. They just have this sort of weird ability to just sort of like. When you look at them, their players individually, they're just never. Other than Sun Pius, who obviously is one of the best players in the world,
Who's not on this team anymore.
who's not on the team, but like, I mean, like even for the last few years, they've rarely had players who you would consider genuinely good, and that sounds really mean. But like they've rarely had players who I'm like, oh no, he's a really good player. I think Mopoz is pretty good. I think Alex was quite good, but like they've always been better than the sum of their parts. And part of that's probably to do with the fact that they're a national team, so the communication is going to be good and whatever. But like, you look at that team, and it's like it looks worse than some of the other teams that don't make it through. Like firepower wise, you've got Davi G, who I don't think is very good. You've got Stododo, who's fine, just is okay. Like
on my list, Aurora and Prezi would have made it over Koi.
Yeah.
But
I will say they've now added some Portuguese players, and obviously the in-game leader is Romanian. But I think they still communicate
in Spanish.
In Spanish, I think, but I'm not certain. I believe Adam S speaks Spanish because I think that was a big thing when they signed it, but I can't remember.
I that sounds correct to me. All right, next on the list, X Thunderflash, which is just a Polish team that no one had ever
sound
heard
like
of.
a team that should be anywhere near the major.
No, it sounds like a.
Fair play.
You remember the Thunderbolt Cups or whatever it is?
Yeah, Thunderpick.
Thunderpick. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like it's just Team Thunderpick. All right, now let's get to teams people actually know about. Spirit made it through. Donk, still just absolutely
Donk was
incredible.
In fucking God mode again.
Absolutely fucking incredible.
Yeah, the kid's just so ridiculous. Good. Like he's just going to be. By the end of this year, he is going to be one of the best players in the world. Like,
it's not a question. It's not a question anymore. Yeah, like he just every event,
he just kills everyone.
He's so good.
You can't be on his screen.
Astralis,
they look good.
Eternal Fire went 3-0. The Xantares show is back.
I am insanely Eternal Fire pilled. I'm all in. I'm Eternal Fire pilled. I'm telling you now, Wicadia is coming up. Fucking brilliant. He is so good. Like the Eternal Fire for so long felt underwhelming because they had Xantares and they just never had that second star. They had the support system around Xantares. They just never had the reliable second star. I think it was supposed to be Calyx, but Calyx hasn't been good since about 2018, unfortunately. And they tried X-Cloud, who's terrible. He's just not very good. And someone else who wasn't that good. And they finally found Wicadia. I don't know where they found this kid. He's fucking crazy. He's so good. And they now actually have their duo of riflers. So and they could just sit, like Woxic can just actually sit back and do what he does best.
You know where Wicadia came from?
Where did he come from?
He came from Eternal Fire Academy.
Yeah.
They just found him off the street.
Get some more players from Eternal Fire Academy. The guy's fucking mustard, man. He's so good. He is a genuine, like he can be a superstar. He's really, really good.
This team's exciting.
Yeah, like Eternal Fire are really fun to watch because they rely so heavily on two pretty aggressive rifle stars. Like in a scene that is quite often dominated by the AWP, they go all in on two rifle stars. They're a national team, which is quite rare, and they're actually just quite good at the game. Like they're fun. Like I'm really high on Eternal Fire. I hope they keep playing to this level because I just think watching Xantares is one of the most joyful things in Counter-Strike, and Wicadia is quickly becoming as good as he is.
Xantares is such a unique player
He's a
because,
hurricane.
yeah, he really is. I stand by our Xantares to Vitality rumor mill that we started.
It would still fuck. I
It
don't care.
was it would.
I mean,
It would
Messi's about
rip.
as good an addition as you can find anywhere. So.
But
But
all right, and now we need to talk about the other team that went 3-0. I just would like to remind people this was in the qualifier that had Mouse, Heroic, Spirit, Strauss, and Koi in it, and Preezy if you want to chuck them in.
I would, yeah.
And the team that went 3-0 was Eternal Fire and Amcal. Now, I would not blame you if you were not aware who Amcal was, but I might blame you if you didn't know the players that were on it.
Yeah.
Because the players that are on it are the actual Entropic core of Nickelback, Crad, and Forrester, who have added Travis and Icy.
We love Crad in this house.
This team rips.
Yeah.
Like, let's be very clear. This team is the old Entropic team that absolutely fucking ripped.
Yeah,
with some
they've
new
always
additions.
had that, like, that ability to just beat good teams. They have always had it, and they probably will always have it. Like, because man for man, it's quite hard to beat, well, basically any Russian team, but specifically this one, because Crad, when he broke through, quote unquote, on Dream Eaters, he was like their star player and he was their best player by a mile. And now he's just like sort of retconned himself into a like support player, which means that when he needs to turn it on, you know he has it in his locker. And admittedly, he has it in his locker at like a lower level, as it were. But the guy can still play. And it's kind of like Kika on Virtus Pro. Kika used to be really good. And then they turned him into a support player. So he still had it in him sometimes to just turn it on. And it's kind of similar, like man for man, when your like third or fourth best player is Crad, mechanically, that is a gifted team. And they will always have that ability to just run teams over.
Yeah, so this team was made for the major. They got together 30 days ago, officially. They came from 4s, 1 win, and the avant-garde bench. But this team is really cool, and I love this team because the Entropic core is a weird core. The Entropic core on its own is a core of, we have one really good player, an IGL, and a support player who can turn it on, right? Those are your players. And you just look to add stars, which in Russia there are plenty of.
Yeah.
Right? Like this team is built to be plug and play, grab 2 kids from FPL and run it, right? Like so they grab.
The scene is so stacked that Amcal don't even like break your top 5 teams in this region, and they're a 3-0 team at an RMR. Like, this region is so stacked with players. You say you can pick players off the bench of Avangar and 1 win, and it's just a 3-0 team. Like, it's a team that competes Astralis. That's how stacked this region is.
Yeah, so it's the former corpse of 1 win. When Boomich left, they basically disbanded the team.
Yeah.
So Nickelback, Forrester, Travis, bring back good friend Crad, and add FPL player Icy, and they're off to the races.
Yeah, like this team bizarre.
Rips.
But yeah, like I don't know if they're going to be able to continue that sort of form, because the team was always, these players have always been relatively inconsistent, and we've seen a lot of teams go 3-0 and then struggle. And 9 did it last year. But
so none of these teams have made the major yet. Let's be very clear here. There's the actual RMR itself, because there's an RMR open qualifier, and a bunch of teams from that qualified to the closed qualifier, and then the closed qualifier qualifies teams to the RMR, which qualifies teams to the major. It's like a 4-step process here. So we're going into the RMR, which is interesting because it is a LAN event. So
I
up
actually
until
think
this
the
point,
RMR is my favorite event of the year.
I love the RMR because wacky shit happens at the RMR. Like it is a full event of wacky shit, and I love that.
The stakes are higher. The stakes are actually almost higher than the major itself, because getting to the major financially is such a boon for so many of these teams.
It doesn't matter how good you do at the major, unless you game elite, unless you win the major. It doesn't matter how good you are at the major.
Finishing second is still pretty cool and all that, but
no, finishing second is cool, but like financially, it doesn't matter.
So the stakes are higher than pretty much any other event. Swiss system, which is just so much fun to watch as a spectator. I'm sure it's annoying for a player, but it's so much fun to watch because like it just comes up like some of the greatest stories come out of the Swiss system major thing. You get like teams that otherwise aren't really in tier one events playing against tier one teams
Well,
and
it's where
ruining their dreams. It's
it's
so much fun.
historically where we got to see Bad News
Bad
Eagles or
News
Guild
Eagles.
Eagles now, or Spirit and teams like this that we don't see during the rest of the year because they're not part of these partnered contracts, and we go see, yeah, no, we can fucking rip with the best of them,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely do.
Gamer Legion, Apex, these teams break out at these events. Nine even have done it. Like,
Yeah,
there's so many teams that break out at these events and prove themselves. Like, they prove the franchise system is a load of nonsense because they would just shit on the best teams in the world. And it's like, oh yeah, but it's just one event. It's like, yeah, but this is the only event that really matters. And
yeah.
I think it really exposes sort of lazy teams, and I think it's really fun. I really love the RMR cycle almost as much as, if not more than, the major. I do think the RMR is the most fun event of the year.
Yeah. All right. Finishing this off for Europe, the decider qualifiers, so those 2 and 3 teams, all of them went to this event. They got jumbled up. And so Astatic, Parisi, Nexus, Para, and 3D Max all made the other set of the major. That's
Yeah,
where
it
I'm
was
standing on
it
this
Sync who
now.
missed out?
Yes, it was Sync who
Yeah.
missed out.
That must really suck, right? You go in the 2-3 bracket, you're like, right, 5 of us go through and 1 of us
Yeah.
doesn't. All we have to do is win a single game and we're through.
Yeah.
And you
So
lose them all.
now we go to the actual RMRs, which will be in February in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk a huge amount about them. We have other close qualifiers to talk about, but just note that what's going on now is they've taken all the teams that have qualified from the close qualifier, jumbled them up, and combined them with the teams that made the last major.
Yes.
So we have two RMRs. There's a Group A and a Group B. Out of that, the top many of them, the top 8 from each group plus another last chance qualifier. That'll be how we determine the major.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that once we hit February, but just assume that if we didn't mention you're our favorite team, it's probably because they made the last major in such a way that they
Or you're
were
a
here.
TSM fan.
Or you're a TSM fan. Who we did mention, but
We did actually, yeah, good point.
Okay. Let's jump to Asia quickly.
Yep.
The Asia qualifier, very small.
Oh no, there was like 100 different Asian ones.
Well, yeah, the Asia Open qualifier had 3,000 teams.
Yeah. But then there was like 6 different regions of Asia that all have their own little close qualifier.
Yeah.
So I went through all of them the other day.
Yeah, so the China close qualifier, which is what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
All you care about in the end of the day, Lin Vision, a team that we all know, Tai Lu, another team we all know, all made it out. The third place team that did not make it out was a team that we have spent at least 20 minutes talking about on this show before, which is the Rare Atom team.
Yes, but the old Rare Atom team is now Tai Lu.
Yeah, the old Rare Atom team is
Rare Atom in the last game.
Correct, but the new Rare Atom team, which is the team that we've talked about before, is the Summer, Somebody, and Fozy team, because of course we have a Swede playing in a Chinese team. We continue onward. The Oceania RMR, one spot, and if you guessed that one spot was going to Greyhounds, you'd be right. Next qualifier.
They beat Bad News Kangaroos in the final, in case you're wondering how serious that qualifier was.
Exactly. I'm moving right through it. The East Asia RMR qualifier, which was basically just the Mongolian qualifier. There were a couple other teams there.
Yeah, there was a couple of others.
There's a couple of Russian teams. I assume that the Russian teams...
NKT were there as well, I believe.
Yeah. So there's a Russian team. There's a team from Hong Kong. My assumption is that Russian teams, if they're past a certain line in Russia where the ping sucks to Europe, they had to participate here. But there were 2 teams that went through. NKT, our favorite Asian team, did not make it through. They only have 1 player from that NKT lineup, by the way.
Oh, I dread to think who's on this team now.
Exogen is still there. South Korean player.
Yeah.
Zerolite, Kulast, and 2 Uzbekistani players I have never heard of.
Amazing.
Bentet is gone, by the way.
Where is he gone? That's what I need to know.
Bentet is not on a team.
Ooh, get him in.
No, you know what this means? They're trying to build the Oceania super team again.
God. I just wanted a quick shout out to Atox, who did finish second.
Yeah, I was gonna
say. With Dobu and Cabal, who were both on IHC, which became the Mongols before. So they really do dominate that scene so hard that even their old players are just the second best team.
Yeah, and the team that went to the last match with them, which was the Huns, has Score and Nine and Bartak on it. It is just the Mongols tree of gamers. The Mongols obviously
economics.
The Mongols obviously were the team that came out of the East Asia qualifier. We didn't say that, but I figured we were pretty much on the same page there.
Yeah.
They're incredible, especially in this region. All right, and then the Asia RMR Closed Qualifier, which just was the Asia RMR. So it's all of the rest of the teams that didn't have their own qualifier. The team that made
this qualifier, like, honestly, just go and look at some of the names in this qualifier.
Oh yeah,
it's
I'm going to go through the. Do you mean team or player names?
Both, honestly.
I will name the teams very quickly because they're excellent. First of all, there was a singular team that was ranked in the HLTV rankings on this list of the 8 teams here.
Who didn't win it?
It was God's Reign, who was ranked 231st. Which
God's
to
Reign,
me,
by the way, hard name. Hard.
I had seen some stuff online about God's Reign accusing other teams of cheating. And I don't fully understand all that stuff, but I saw a Discord DM between a PGL admin and a player from God's Reign.
Oh, was that the one where it was like
saying that you could hear
the knife pull out?
Yeah,
it doesn't make noise. Yeah, that was embarrassing.
Yeah. So the teams in this qualifier were God's Reign, SR Nakagu, I'm
obviously,
which is a Philippine team. By the way, God's Reign from India. Too Easy, an excellent team name, also from India. Drippy Lab, a Philippine team.
Drippy Lab is great.
A Thai team under Resilience. Mag, which seems to be a mix of Mongolian, Philippine,
Indonesian,
and one Indonesian player.
Yeah. Mag are my favorite team. They're my new favorite team because they have a player called Derek. His in-game name is Derek, and another player called Waste of Ammo. I'm so gutted. I think they lost in the final to Troublemakers.
They did.
Yeah, I'm gutted. I would have loved a Waste of Ammo sticker so I could put it on my fan ass and never buy it. That's all I wanted.
Dua United, which was a mixed Indonesian, Vietnamese, and Philippine team.
Yep.
And then the team that eventually got out, which was Troublemakers, which was a Kyrgyzstan team with one Russian.
Yeah.
And
Troublemakers, by the way, Troublemakers spelt as 2 separate words, but only one of them's capitalized.
And they have 2 players named Aaron. They have ARON and ARUN.
Amazing.
Which in most
I love this region. I love it so much. They beat Derek and Waste of Ammo in the final. Waste of ammo. Does he mean he's wasting ammo by shooting it at them and they're a waste of ammo?
No,
or does he mean shooting him is a waste of ammo because he's not a threat?
It's Sanji. He's just Sanji.
He's just a waste of ammo. That's so good.
It's not worth giving him weapons. Just give him nades. It's Sanji.
Yeah, waste of ammo is an insult. And he's like, yeah, no, that's me. I'm going to call myself that. This is like when I first started playing the game and I called myself Bomb Plants because that's all I was going to do was try and plant the bomb because I was useless.
Okay, there's one more qualifier, closed qualifier that hasn't happened, but I can already tell you who's coming out of it, which is the Middle East qualifier. Is the last one. They have 2 slots in the closed qualifier. The teams there's only 3 you need to care about. JJ Howe, which is still...
Yeah, Elion and Issa are on this team, I believe, and Davkost, who's still playing.
And Remind, who is a Tunisian player, and Mini, a Lebanese player.
Fantastic.
Because, yes, Bravado.
Bravado are there.
Bravado with Poison.
Because, yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. God. Oh, my God. I forgot about that. Probably Tizzy in there now as well.
We'll talk about Onyx Ravens for a second.
Because Onyx Ravens have Pokemon
and Tudson.
Who, oh my God. Pokemon, I know, Tea Time, who'd come on this podcast before, obviously from Pakistan. Tea Time is from Pakistan. He really rates Pokemon. He thinks he's really good, but has never been given a chance because of his region. He thinks he's really good.
I mean, I also rate Pokemon, but I'm more of a
quite.
And then the other team that cares about here is Twisted Minds, who almost certainly will not make it through, but may.
Twisted Minds are famous because they've got Doc. Yeah. I'd just like to give a shout out to the team Shush because they have a player called, and I'm not joking, Hope Da Beast. Amazing. He is a rapper from the 90s. Hope Da Beast. Amazing.
I fucking love this part of the year. It's excellent.
The Asian RMR is mental and I love
it. Okay, so Asian RMR, there's no like 7-step closed qualifier. It's just open into closed into RMR. And they all come together. So closed qualifier will be Mongols, Linvision, Tyloo, Greyhound, Atox, Troublemakers, and the 2 Middle East teams. And I think they get 2 spots. So basically, it'll be a competition between Mongols, Linvision, Tyloo, and Greyhound to figure out who comes out of this.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to South America. We're almost there. We're getting there. We got 2 more regions left. South America, North America. South America, there was a lot of teams.
Yeah. Most of them not.
The only what we're gonna care about here, 9Z did not make it.
Mm-hmm.
Red Canids, who have been around for a bit, didn't make it. Pain made it. Otic, which I believe is a former, that's the Woody Turtle roster that they went to post.
Keeping track of Brazilian teams is impossible.
Bestia, which is the Argentinian team.
Yeah, it's Noyan and Reversive.
Imperial, which is the Last Dance of the Last Dance, but not really.
Yeah, it seems. I think Imperial have Phelps.
They have Phelps, but no FNX.
So I think Phelps was the highest rated player in this.
Yes, it was Phelps, Vinny, and Henny plus.
Yeah, what a team!
2 Brazilians. The 2 teams that went 3-0 are MIBR, to absolutely no one's surprise in here, and to absolutely everyone's surprise, Legacy, which is
Cold Zero.
I was gonna say that's the X. What is it?
Doesn't matter. Cold Zero has been on every team in Brazil.
It's the X Godsent roster, isn't it?
Ish. Oh yeah, because it's got
no, it's X00 Nation. Sorry, X00 Nation.
Yeah,
roster. They've gone through like 3 orgs.
Cold Zero is going to turn it on in Brazil, and then I will say he's now buffed though in CS2 because he can no longer get 16 0'd.
That's you know what? This is a very good point. Okay. Somehow in my opening tabs, I absolutely whiffed on grabbing.
I will say there's something else I want to say about the Brazilian one anyway, so you can find that when I talk about it. Pain Gaming went 0-12 in map 2 against Imperial in a qualifying game, and then went to overtime because they won the second half 12-0, and then lost in overtime. Like neither team got a CT round at all in regulation. Went to overtime. Imperial immediately got 2 CT rounds, won the game.
Excellent. Okay. No notes. RMR Closed Qualifier. There were plenty of teams here. Teams you expect made it through. Teams that didn't make it through, any that would be like a big note. Los, which is the former Team 1 team, which is now Los +1, and actually just Los, which is Leo Drunky, History, Hiota, and 2 other Brazilians.
Yeah.
Which, sure. Cloud 10, famously just Cloud 9, but one better. Which is
I had a friend who made a song called 8 Nation Army, which is a 7 Nation Army, but an octave up.
Excellent. This is they're technically marked as an Asian roster. They're not. This is the X Bad News Bears roster with Pluto and Momo, who are both Pakistani, and they have a Vietnamese player on it as well. So they are marked as NRG did not make the America's RMR. That is the OC Fang Breezy Daps Hex team. Now, let it be known, I watched a lot of the North American RMR because, as per usual, this time of year, I was on the Dust 2 stream with Jeff for M&M's this year. I watched a lot of NRG games, and Daps was the hard carry for this team.
That is not a good sign.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Teams that did make it.
How is a team with OC on it not making it through? Whatever you think about OC, domestically, he's unbelievable normally.
Except he wasn't unbelievable. Apparently, OC was second calling, which I went, what the fuck is OC doing second calling?
Yeah, like just Just let him kill
apparently,
everyone. He's so much better than everyone else in the region. Just let him fight.
so teams that made the Americas RMR, nouns expected. Rocket, which is actually kind of a decent team of just random NA players. Badass, which is the former Timberman lineup
Oh, right.
plus Dia.
Enough said
Boss,
about them.
yes, Boss is the former wildcard lineup. We'll get to the current wildcard lineup in a minute. Liquid, M80, the current wildcard lineup, which is the Stanislaw, Sonic, Infinite, JBA project, which actually may rip a spot through. And
Project
Complexity.
is a bold term for that team.
Well, JBA is a newer player. I wouldn't say that Stanislaw and Sonic are new players.
No.
In such a way to make a project. So the RMR for the Americas will be happening at the beginning of March over in Mexico. There will be many teams in it. We've talked about all of them. This will be fun because there's only 5 slots to make it through. So that means that one
You
of
have to go 3-1, right?
Yeah, so Complexity, Furia, Liquid could make it, and there's 2 more slots to go between a lot of like very good teams.
Yeah. Wow.
So the battle for 5th, 6th will be intense.
Relatively very good.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're done talking about the RMRs.
There,
I think we did. We don't worry about it. I think we're done talking about the RMRs. The IEM Chengdu qualifier is happening now, but like I'm not in a huge.
I just want to talk about the fact that M80 Liquid lost to M80. So despite being not an American team, played in the NA qualifiers and lost to an NA team. I think that's fucking great. I think that's
Swisher
really
the
fun.
goat. Swisher the.
Well, it was all Malbs, wasn't it? Yeah, Malbs had a storming series, knocked him out.
Yeah, they've been. M80's got like starting to get their sea legs.
Yeah,
they're starting to show up a little bit. All right, we also wanted to talk this week about Blast Premier Spring Groups, which are happening now, which is the first in the line of 7 trillion Blast events that have no meaning, except these have meaning because it's at the beginning of the year. They qualify spots into the spring finals and also the spring showdown, which is the other thing that doesn't have meaning. It's all over the place.
Blast is confusing. Just enjoy watching like big teams play each other as well.
That's the bit. Just don't care about who wins things.
Yeah, because it kind of just doesn't
match to match basis. So there are 4 groups. 2 groups have. One group has. No, 2 groups have almost already finished, and we already have our first exits from Blast. So Group A: Vitality, OG, Astralis, and the new look Falcons. Vitality
absolutely banged OG out.
Yeah, Vitality absolutely ripped OG, and then Falcons beat OG as well.
So Vitality won 13-0 on map 1.
I believe that's correct.
Can we talk about the fact that 13-0 is just wrong? Like,
yeah,
it's just not the same, is it? It's not the same.
It's not.
We need to go back to humiliating Cold Zero and go back to 16-0. Like 16-0 is just so much better than 13-0, and I think we need to.
I think if you get to 13-0, the other team should get 3 rounds to be able to not get 16-0'd.
Oh, I kind of
it's like last chance. And if you win a round, the team doesn't get their 13th. So you have to win. There's like some how when you play Pong, there's like when you play beer pong, there's like the last chance bid in it. Redemption. You get the ability to like if you can make them all in one shot, you should get if you get to 13. If you start winning, you should be able to win up through, and the other team has to get to 16.
I don't know about that. I think that's insane because then you'd be better off winning 13-1 than 13-0 in case.
Yes,
and I think it should be.
But 13-0 would be so much more impressive then.
Yeah, but I think it should just be 13-1 if they win one of the next 3. I like the idea of giving them maybe even just one chance. Maybe you get one chance, like. But I like that idea. I just think
because we need more.
I don't think they should be allowed to come back. If you lose 13 rounds in a row, it's game over. I'm afraid.
Except for the couple times it hasn't been game over.
Well, yeah.
And those games are vaulted in history.
In MR12, it is. So.
Yeah. All right. So OG gone out. Big rip because Heavy God actually was like okay.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, Heavy God will be good. There's no question about that.
He just might have to
The
leave
rest-
OG to do it.
Yeah, he just may not be on OG for very long. Vitality, very good team. Astralis,
Actually,
to no one's surprise,
very, very
good team.
I mean, they beat Vitality. They're the first team to beat Vitality in months.
Correct.
Which fair play to them.
Falcons, sea legs is going to be my statement on them.
Falcons worrying. Boros still doesn't throw flashes.
Yeah,
he just doesn't throw flashes. He actually shit on OG, but it's OG. Like you don't need to flash OG to kill them. Right? Astralis, it was Astralis. Yeah, it was Astralis. You need to flash Astralis if you want to kill him, and Boros doesn't. He just doesn't use them.
So they get to play one of my favorite matches of this week, which on Friday they play against Vitality. So Zonic and Magisk against the field here.
Yeah, unfortunately they are just going to get spanked.
They're going to get slapped.
They're going to get slaughtered, unfortunately. It is one of those.
They're going to get slapped the shit out. Okay, Group B, FaZe, Gamer Legion, Spirit, and Liquid. Now, we need to make some notes here.
Yeah.
This is a Spirit that does not have Donk. So they're playing,
right? They're playing.
Yeah,
without,
I just can't remember who the
Zontics?
others. I think they are playing. No, they're playing with Zontics. Magics.
Oh, Magics.
Playing
Yeah,
without
Magics.
Magics.
Of course, yeah.
So they've
He's
got
also really
Baz,
good, so.
who I believe is their
He's an
academy
player,
player, and Hallie, who is their coach, who has stood in for them before, and who was not very good.
No, he's Hallie. I know is a very, very high elo player. Like he still regularly plays at very, very high elo. He still regularly like pokes with pro players and against pro players. So he is still like, he's not a pro player, but he's like as close as one can get without being semi-pro, I suppose. Like he is actually quite good. I mean, he didn't necessarily show it against Liquid, but he's like, as coach stand-ins go, there aren't many that you'd be that comfortable with. And I think when I spoke to Spirit before, they were quite like, yeah, we're actually quite looking forward to playing with him. He is decent.
He was fine. He put up a 0.59 rating.
Yeah, that's not the bad. After everyone said all that, he wasn't very good against Liquid.
No, he was not very good. So I watched this game. I had a little bit of a scare. So FaZe lost to Gamer Legion.
Yeah,
as you do.
We're just going to brush over that. Gamer Legion smashed them 2-0 as well. Like it wasn't even like. I mean, it was close, but it was a 2-0. Like they beat them 13-11, 16-13. Like it's a good win. Like it's. And it's the second time they've beaten FaZe as well. They're one of the only teams to beat FaZe, and they've done it again. I don't really know how, because they're not actually that good, Gamer Legion.
Snacks is back.
Snacks is just back, I guess.
Snacks is just back. And then the Liquid Spirit game, which was way closer than it needed to be for a variety of reasons, almost had a little heart attack on Ancient.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of one.
Yeah, so Spirit went 9-3 up on map 3. They won map 2, which was Anubis. And on Ancient, they went 9-3 up at the half. And
correct.
Chopper was like frying. He was like 17-6 at the half. And unfortunately for me, Spirit didn't end up converting, and Liquid came back. But dicey. Not a good look for Liquid, given they lost to M80 as well, and it's looking a bit shaky at the moment.
I said this before. I stand by it. This team's going to take a little bit of time to cook.
Yeah, of course.
Cadian does not seem to have found his role. The rest of the players kind of are figuring out where they should be, but
the rest of the players
Cadian's
are
not
so
sure
good
yet.
that it kind of doesn't like.
Yeah,
they can sort of be in a slightly suboptimal position and still multi-frag. Like Twist will still just be good no matter where you put him. It's fine.
Yeah. So remember, I said before that Vitality Falcons may be my favorite game this week.
Yep.
This next game is the other game that may be my favorite game this week, which is on Thursday morning here. We get FaZe Spirit for Staying Alive.
If Donk was playing, this would be the best game.
If Donk was playing, this would be an absolute...
Without Donk, it's
still a good game.
Still good, but it's a bit of a dud. Like, not asked. Like, they're just not gonna win, unfortunately, with 2 stand-ins.
Yeah. Group C is G2 Nip, Navi, and Complexity.
The Complexity honeymoon is officially over.
Yeah, that's gone.
Holzerk's missing shots he just can't afford to miss.
People learned how to play Counter-Strike too. I think that's the difference.
Yeah. Like I remember, I think I've said before on here, like America always start well in new esports and then tail off, and this was even quicker and shorter than, this was one of the shortest black holes.
Yeah, so rip Complexity.
Yeah, they got 2-0'd by Nip, and Nip did not look good.
Yeah, Alex. The Alex period has started off a little rocky.
Yeah, I mean they got thumped by G2. Like,
I would like to state that against G2, Esatag put up a number that it was worse than Coach Halley put up against Team Liquid.
You mean against? Wait.
Yeah, no, I was right.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
I was right. So Navi G2 through, and Navi actually beat G2, which I think was a surprise for everyone, including Navi. G2 NIP in the lower consolidation. I can't speak. Yeah. I know I can't speak today. Consolidation final.
I think Navi beating G2 isn't that much of a surprise. I mean, G2 are woefully inconsistent, and I think it's largely agreed that the Nexa move is a bit of a downgrade.
Yeah. Except for Nexa, who has come out and said, like, I'm so happy to not be IGLing anymore. It's unlocked so much of me. Yeah.
I'm sure he's really happy to be on this team. All the more power to him.
All right. And then the last round, the last group that's going on right now, VP, Big, Heroic, and Cloud9, which to me is just an absolute dud of a group.
I've got no idea who's like... A VP should win it, but like that doesn't usually mean anything.
So VP won map 1 against Big. I will assume they go to the upper finals. Big have not looked good recently.
Yeah. But I actually think low-key Cloud9 Heroic could be a really good game.
It could be interesting.
Because I've got no idea who's the better team of them.
No, I have no clue. Because Cloud9 were all over the place for a while. Heroic have an AWPer, but like, I don't know where you stand on Nikodas versus Boomich in terms of AWP skill. I'd agree I'd say Nikodas is better, but is it?
I'm willing to give Nikodas a second chance under an IGL that isn't Dexter.
Okay. I was talking Copenhagen Flames, but we could do Dexter.
Oh, he was good on Copenhagen Flames.
I agree.
Really good on Copenhagen Flames.
I agree. So the question is how much better is Nikodas than Boomich, and does it matter?
Quite a bit, and hopefully.
Okay.
Well, I say hopefully. I mean, like, I think it's probably good if the AWP role is important in a sense.
Yeah. And Nerds is fun to watch, so.
Yeah, I mean,
banger of a game. Good. That will have happened by the time you listen to this podcast.
Yes. We should be talking about Heroic's massive win.
Yeah, Heroic massive
win. They
absolutely
smashed Cloud9. I don't even know. It was not even like Nikodas dropping 40 frags in just 13 rounds. It's insane. Like,
he's so good.
I don't know how he's done it.
He's back to his Copenhagen Flames ways.
He's surpassed his Copenhagen Flames ways.
He's so good. That's the bit. I think that's like that. We're in the middle of a lot of stuff right now.
Yeah.
The important thing to note is what's coming up in the next couple of weeks, because Blast Premier Spring Groups is an important event in the sense that it exists, but really it's just a warm up to what starts at the end of the month, which is IEM Katowice, which starts January 31st, so a week from today as we record on Wednesday. That's the real important bit, is that we have the start right into Kato next week.
I will say Kato
into the RMRs.
Kato might be a difficult one for us to record because I today got hired for IEM Katowice B stream. So
what the fuck?
Yeah, so we'll see.
What the fuck?
We might be able to record on Tuesday or something. We'll be fine.
We'll be fine. Just if there's no podcast next week by Thursday, just spam at Elliot on Twitter.
Yeah, that's my at Elliot. That's just me.
At Elliot. Yep, that's just
That'd be good if I had that.
That would be convenient, I think.
It would, yeah.
All right, that's going to be it. We are done for the day. You can find us all on Twitter at Logan Roundhub, at Elliot, and at RetealDR.
I'm really glad you did. I was really hoping you were going to do that, and I wouldn't have to jump in. That was really, because that's not easy to do when you've trained yourself to say the same ending. Do you
remember that there was like a month and a half that I changed my to at Mechatronic?
Yeah.
That was a terrible month and a half.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back next week, hopefully, if we're not at Elliot. Bye, everyone.